Hello, hello, Dad TV. My name is Bill Lennon. I have two sons. Back over there, there's old pictures of them. They're actually 20 and 22 today. Those are back from when one of them was in high school and the other one was in middle school. There's even smaller. Um, Three things that I learned that helped me a lot when I was early in my fathering journey. And these are mental models. The first one is look at raising kids as an adventure and a privilege and not a chore. Um, I didn't have my first kid till I was 39. And I've been pretty active my whole life, right? Surfing, car racing, uh, windsurfing, mountain biking. And all of a sudden, having kids changed that whole equation because I'm responsible, right? And so I started adapting everything I did to include my kids. And so uh, when I went to the beach, I didn't think about surfing for me. I thought about getting my kids acclimated to the beach. When I was going to the pool, I thought about how to get my kids to have fun in the water. And by the way, they started swimming when they were 5 months old because I found a local school that gets kids to be water safe starting at 5 months, which is awesome because I love being in the water. I bicycle a lot, and at that point in time I was also running a lot, and so I got a little jogging stroller with my first son that I could go run places with him in there. And then when the second one came along, I got a two-seater that I could tow behind my bicycle. And I went grocery shopping. I took them to movies. When their mom wanted to go to the farmer's market, I took them in that while she drove. Um, we went to the climbing gym. I towed them in that trailer. Let me tell you, that is an awesome cardio workout to get. And you don't have any excuses to not do it because people give you a ton of respect. I took them Christmas shopping in that thing. And by the way, there is no better way to go Christmas shopping than riding a bicycle right up to the mall, no traffic, no parking, lock up your bike, take off the thing that lets the chariot get towed and put the front wheel on, and then go through the mall with the kids. Everybody loves you. It's very cool. I did that until my kids' combined weight was about 130 pounds in a chariot that was designed for a 100-pound max. And they were like way too big for it. Um, so focus on the adventure, right? Everything's an adventure. One of those things that I did in terms of the adventure is when my kids would cry at night, I would get up and let my wife sleep. I got up. I got to have bonding time with the kids. I got to hug them. Sometimes I put them in a backpack and took them for a walk because then they would fall back asleep and I could take them out of the backpack, put them back in their crib or back in a bed. Um, and then I could go crawl back into bed and fall asleep. One of the reasons for doing this is because their mom woke up much happier in the morning because she did not like being awake in the middle of the night. Okay, great. Bonus. That's a win for me. Number two, I get to bond with my kids. And I think that's very, very high value as a father to be able to do. Number three, and this is a mental model, I got to think about how good it was going to feel to climb back into bed after the kids were taken care of. And so I was never frustrated or upset when they woke up in the middle of the night because I knew I had three very compelling reasons to jump out of bed and go hang out with my kids. The next mental model is be a good role model. Okay? Your kids look up to you and they will look up to you forever, whether you know it or not, right? I knew that. And so I knew that I had to be consistent in what I told them to do and what I was doing. And so for me, I focus on three areas. Number one, exercise. I've been exercising most days of the week since I was 7. Um, I got to say, from a physical health perspective, as well as mental health, that has been such the win. There's tons of research around how valuable exercise is for your physical health, as well as your mental health. And so, frankly, I don't think anybody has any excuse to not exercise. You can complain whatever, but at the end of the day, uh, it's your life and your kids' lives. And so exercising means you're setting a good example for them. And you don't have to be crazy, right? I actually don't know what crazy is in terms of exercise anymore because, I think a 20-mile bike ride to go have dinner with friends is like completely normal. But that's just me, right? The other thing is the second thing in this role model thing is eat healthy. Like, learn enough about nutrition to eat healthy. You can go to the farmer's market, you can buy organic, you can get grass fed beef. If you're lucky, you can find forested pigs, pork, right? Um, I try very hard to eat really healthy. Um, and hey, it makes me feel better, right? And I model that for my kids. And now they're doing their own things, right? Because they're not under my roof. One of them's off to college. The other one is living at his mom's house because it's closer to school. Fortunately, she eats healthy, so she's also modeling eating healthy. But I know that they know how to eat intelligently. The third one, and this requires a bit of courage and some vulnerability, is share the struggles that you've had. Like, as my kids have grown up, I have shared with them in an age appropriate way struggles that I had, right? When they were little, I talked about struggles that I had when I was 5 years old, or when I was 10, or when I was 15, right? We've talked about relationships. We've talked about um, losing jobs. I've helped them with their social anxiety. I used to have horrible social anxiety, and I figured out how to unwind that, and now I talk to people all the time. But I helped them understand what it was like for me, and also how I was able to reverse my social anxiety and what that system looked like. Um, and this is a modeling behavior to help them understand how to operate better in the world. I want my kids to have more knowledge about how to operate at a much earlier age than I did. There's stuff that they have known at 20 that I didn't know until I was 40, right? I want them to have a leg up. Um, and then my communication, I think like a coach, not like a yelling dictator. And the reason is, well, number one, kids pay attention to coaches. Kids pay attention to coaches who can speak calmly and in a relaxed voice and explain to them why the thing they are doing has a negative impact and doing something differently will have a positive impact. Good sports coaches know how to do this. Bad sports coaches, not so much. Yelling dictators, what that points out is that you are insecure, you don't have self confidence, and you don't respect yourself because you aren't taking the time to learn how to communicate effectively. And if you grew up in an environment where yelling coaches was the norm, uh, guess what? We now have cell phones. We're not on dial up anymore. The world has evolved. You need to learn how to operate better. Saying, well, that's what worked for me in my childhood and that was good enough, that's a lie. It's bullshit. Don't do it. Learn how to operate better. And it takes work. Like, all this stuff takes work. If you think it's not going to take work, sorry, that's not reality, right? Um, so that's three things. One, raising kids in an adventure and a privilege. Two, be a good role model. And number three, communicate like a coach. For bonus, learn some emotional resilience skills and teach your kids. Now, emotional resilience skills are very well researched, lots of clinical research around this. And this has been, for me, a huge lever that has allowed me to, number one, advance my career. Number two, have one of the best divorces on the planet. I have an amazing divorce from the mother of my kids. I'm super happy about it. She's super happy about it. Most importantly, our kids are super happy about it. And the emotional resilience skills that I started learning as a teenager, and I didn't realize it at the time, really helped when our marriage started to crumble, right? We're awesome co-parents. We just can't live together. learn emotional resilience skills. There's something called dialectical behavior therapy, which is a stack of skills that you can learn to, number one, understand, and number two, manage your brain chemistry. It's a great foundation. It's a great starting point. It's 50 plus skills. Um, I learned 30 plus of them growing up because of my choices to have adventures and get involved in sports, um, outside of what my friends were doing and outside of what my parents were doing. And learning those emotional resilience skills has just been so transformative when I talk to my peers who aren't doing what I'm doing and who haven't done what I've done. It's because they don't have the skills. And so they stop when their emotions start to come rise up, and I don't. And part of that is because I have better capacity, because of those emotional resilience skills. Right, I'm emotionally stronger, and so I don't get upset. Right, and the other thing is that when I do start to get upset, I know how to handle it. I know how to handle my brain chemistry on the fly, without drugs, and calm down. So, and staying calm and collected and having fun with your kids, it's kind of critically important. So, new dads, or if you're not a new dad, hope this helps. And I'm looking forward to making more content for the folks at Dad TV. Hope you're having a good one. Thanks.